What is up, everybody? Smashy here, ready for another episode of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. This will be episode number 5. Very exciting. We've had a pretty great start so far. Uh, we're just overcoming Hazard 1, so not that crazy of a feat, but it's nice that we haven't had any deaths yet, so that is pretty cool. We're going to try and keep that streak going. So before we jump in to look at what level we are doing, let's go over our new gear and our upgrades. So we'll go ahead and look at our gear. We got 3 new pieces of gear. So we got our custom grip. So that's going to give us 4.2 to our damage and 3.6 to our armor. We don't have anything in that equipment slot right now, so that's just a pure upgrade for us. We have our bloom blend instead of our strange mixture. So this will give us more explosion radius and more lifetime, but as of right now we have status effect damage plus a little bit more lifetime. So we're going to go ahead and but we'll just sell that one. We're not really interested in that and holding on to it. We do. Oh, this is kind of a cool one. So we have a Nitra Aid blender, but we have one that is just strictly better. So just swapping this out will increase our stats pretty minute amount, but still an increase is an increase. So let's go ahead and equip that. Then we can just go ahead and sell these too. We don't need them anymore. Very cool. We do have the option to upgrade, but at this point it's not worth it. You know, not really worth it to do that. It's kind of very small, very small advantage, and I think we'll be just fine without it. The only time I really feel like it's worth it to upgrade things is when you get legendary, or even I guess I would do it if it was a really good epic too, but ideally you're looking to put a legendary in each of those slots just because they have additional bonuses. Alright, so going over to our upgrades, we have some health we can increase, our overall damage, and our reload speed. Out of those three, I'm going to take the damage. Getting our damage up early in the game is going to take us a long way. It's just one of those pillar stats. I'm probably going to say that every single video and every chance that I get because I really just want to emphasize on how important it is. There is a little bit of diminishing returns with damage where you're just doing enough, or like people are dealing more damage to you, and survivability isn't really practical. But generally, if you can kill people very quickly, your chances of survival go up a ton. So with that, we have two other choices, and this is going to be between how much gold we start with and how much status effect you have at the beginning. I'm not too into the status effect stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade our gold that we start with. It's a really small amount right now, so we probably won't notice a difference. But hey, an upgrade's an upgrade. Alright, so let's jump into it. We got 11. I don't even know what these things are called. 11 little quirk things. We got one more level to go here. At some point, we are probably going to uh, get back and get this 20 red sugar, because that's probably pretty easy to do. But as of right now, we'll keep moving forward. So this will be our 5th biome. We haven't visited this one before. This is the Azure Weld, or Weald. I don't even know how to say it. Someone will correct me. But this is filled with brilliant bioluminescent light. The Weald can seem almost peaceful at times. However, to the Greybeard, it's clear that the law of the jungle still applies here. When the Glyphids finally arrive, they are as fierce as ever. Alright, so submissions. We got we got to complete the dive. We got to mine 10 blocks of resources by jumping on them. Alright, so we'll figure that out when we get there. And then we'll upgrade the M1000 Classic to level 18. So definitely something we can do during the run. I We'll go ahead and pick the scout for this one as well. This one, oh, it unlocks at rank 18. What rank are we at? 12. Yeah, so we gotta get lucky with this one to unlock the M1000. We have it unlocked, which is nice. But I think we're just gonna stay with our basics. Stay with our deep core GK2. on the classic one. That gives us 10% movement speed and 10% max HP. This one's been pretty good for us so far. I'm not a huge fan of this one. You get a lot more dodge. Um, and like essentially when you do a dodge, you get a huge movement speed and reload speed increase. So it's nice for that, but in general, I just want to stay away from enemies. So I think staying with the classic and having that increased movement speed is going to take us a lot further. So let's do that. We'll jump into this, and I think we'll try to get a lot of gold in the beginning, so that if we do try to get our first weapon, that we can re-roll it to try and get the M1000 right off the bat, because that'll be a lot easier to get it to level 18 if we can get it earlier in the game. But yeah, let's jump on in. Alright, we got a kind of a nice little door prize being parked right next to this gold vein, so nice and easy for us. The game must have heard us talking about how we wanted to get gold early. Alright, so our first level up, we got 5% critical strike damage, 4% movement speed, or 15% damage on the GK2. As always, we are going to take the 15% damage on the GK2. Just being able to get that damage up in the beginning of the game is our top priority. Alright, we are going to bypass that meta mineral down there and just go in straight for these mushrooms. We're going to keep exploring. There are some loot bugs up here, so we're going to go do that, and we also get gifted with a little bit more gold. This is all fantastic. We're really trying to get as much gold as we can before level 5. So our next level up, we have a 15% fire rate to the GK2. We have a 45% pickup radius at epic rarity, which is a very, very good upgrade, or the last one, which is 15% damage on the GK2. So as tempting as it is to take the pocket magnets, which is that 45% pickup radius, we are going to go with bigger cogs and get 15% damage on the GK2. That's just kind of how it is. The pickup radius is a much more like quality of life kind of upgrade, and you really have to get your essentials first before taking any of those upgrades, because though it sounds nice to be able to do that, we really won't be able to sustain that. Alright, so doing a little bit of exploring here, I saw that there are 2 nitra veins right here, which is really cool. And this is, I guess, a good time to showcase that one of the cool mechanics for this map, where you can jump and you can land on the minerals to collect them, so that's really cool. We leveled up again, and our 3 choices are 15 max HP, 3% critical strike chance, or 10% damage on the GK2. Following the course, we are going to take the 10% damage on the GK2, and then as soon as we get out of there, we are going to jump on these things and collect some minerals. We're kind of a dicey situation. It looks like these aliens decided to show up, and they are out for blood. They're very quick. So those little guys there, those little purple ones, those ones move a lot faster. So I am glad that we chose the classic scout with the 10% movement increase, so able to navigate that obstacle that's specific to this biome. We leveled up, we got to level 5, and we are so lucky that we opened up the M1000. Our other choices are the Thor Bug Taser or the Voltaic Stun Sweeper, which if you watched our last video, we were pleasantly surprised with how much damage the Voltaic Stun Sweeper did overall. We switched our GK2 damage to electric as well, and that one really underperformed. But for this one, since we have the additional challenge of getting the M1000 to level 18, we are going to go ahead and pick that here. So pretty happy with that. We got really lucky with that. Gonna jump on some blocks and collect some minerals. Took a little bit of damage there. Oof. Took 2 hits of damage there. So kind of a bummer there. So this guy here, Forget what these guys are called, but they essentially heal everyone within that aura. And so killing those guys, depending on how the game goes, if you have a huge cluster of aliens and they are all surrounding it, and these guys move significantly slower, and they end up like putting themselves directly in the middle of those mobs, they can be very hard to deal with, and it's very hard to get close enough where you can disrupt the aura. You'll see that if you look at the full like circumference of the aura they have, once you step inside of it, it kind of like resets them. They're like, oh no, I gotta move now. So they'll stop the healing and move. Another thing that's really big with them is if you stand next to them, you can use your pickaxe, which does significant damage to them for whatever reason. Like I feel like they're like bullet sponges is otherwise, but if you stand next to them with a pickaxe, it does a lot more. So just a little tips for, I think they're called wardens actually. So I'm gonna keep calling them wardens until I find out they're called something different. But all right, but we also leveled up. So we got Titan Springs. We got 15% fire rate on the M1000, or 15% reload speed on the GK2, or just a straight up 3% critical strike chance increase. Because we're trying to get our M1000 to level 18, we're going to go ahead and take the 15% on it now so that we can really just be focused in our run. Getting the M1000 to level 18 is pretty good. Ooh, so we leveled up again. Now we have an interesting choice. We have a choice between 20% fire rate on looks like all of our weapons, which we only have two of right now, but that's still pretty good. We have 5% mining speed or 30 max HP. So this one, for me, if I was at this point in the game, I'm in between the fire rate or the mining speed. Our mining speed is really low, so having any increase to it is generally going to be helpful to us. But just increasing the fire rate on both of these, or both of our weapons right now, is pretty good. The GK2 specifically starts out with not very good fire rate, or it's an okay fire rate. It just has a big clip, so it feels like it kind of takes forever for it to unload there. So upgrading the fire rate is pretty good, and we're still at the stage in the game where increasing our damage is pretty good. So this one doesn't like increase the damage directly, but does increase it as far as DPS, which is damage per second. So it does end up helping us out in the long run. But if that had been any other thing, I think I would have taken it. So this is a good example. So I stepped inside the circumference or the aura of this warden, and then he started to run away, and I just kept looked like I was trying to pet him there with a pickaxe, but slowly just whittled away at his health. So pretty easy to take out. We leveled up again, so we have three choices. We have 10% damage to all kinetic weapons, which is 100% of our weapons right now. We have 3% reload speed and 3% critical strike chance. Out of these, I'm going to take the 10% damage to all kinetic weapons. Oh, so that guy, he's dealing damage with us. So notably, even though we have a speed increase, we are not moving fast enough. So because this is unique to this biome, we are going to take some speed increases to be able to keep up, because those guys are just going to keep coming, and they're just going to keep dealing damage to us. Alright, so this is an interesting one. So we have a frozen shield belt, which gives us kind of a, whenever we get hit, we blast all of the enemies around us for cold damage, so it slows them. And it also gives us a plus 15% damage to cold items, which as of right now we have none. We have Pickled Nitra, which is that 2% for every Nitra you have, but you also get 0.5 minus to movement speed for every Nitra you have. It's just an absolute trap. It's true, you deal a bunch of damage, but you end up taking a huge hit with your movement speed. The third choice is the XP scanner, which is you get a small chance to find XP when mining any kind of rock. So this is kind of a tough one. I don't think the XP scanner is particularly useful. Um, and the Frozen Shield Belt is kind of bottom tier with that, but we don't have any rerolls. So we just have to take one of these. I'm not really happy with any of them, but I think for survivability, we're going to take the Frozen Shield Belt. And we're going to note that we took it here. Um, and let's count how many times it procs like throughout the match to be able to be like, yes, that was worth it, or yes, this definitely saved us, because I'm kind of skeptical about it. Alright, so... Alright, well, it looks like the big boss is out already. We already completed our secondary, so that's nice. We already got an okay amount of minerals, so we got a pretty decent amount of gold, pretty good amount of nitra. But we are still going to try to get more. So leveled up again. We got 3 pips, or we got 3 things here. We got 15 max HP, 15% radius increase, or pickup radius increase, and then 10% fire rate on the GK2. We'll just take the 10% fire rate on the GK2. Try to get that as high as we can. Yeah, so now we're really... So this guy is moving way faster than we are. Lucky for us, he does... he has a ranged attack. So it doesn't really matter that his speed is significantly faster than ours, because... Oh, I guess it's not. Look, we're just outrunning him right now. That's kind of cool. So I don't need to collect any more mushrooms, but they are just a tiny amount of XP. So why leave that on the table, especially if I'm just running right past them. I'm trying to go around and clear a little bit more, see if there's any minerals that I left, but it looks like this map might just have been cleared out, which is kind of nice. So there's no red sugar on this map, but they have these nodes here that heal. Alright, so there's one proc for that frozen belt. Oh, look, I didn't realize it also heals the enemies. Alright, we gotta kill this guy. Yeah, see, this is what I mean by, like, they can cluster up like that, and there's almost no way for me to get to that warden. That was kind of cool that they just had those, I don't know what to call them besides trampolines. Yeah, I had those trampolines right there. But I'd say this was a pretty good run. I don't think, was there any way that we could have increased the amount of nitro we got? No, probably not. I didn't see any more loot bugs. We got all the nitro veins. So, okay, so this is our first shop. So, our first option, we have a paint job to the M1000, which is in line with our goal to get it to level 18, and that's 2 levels right off the bat. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. So next one, we have a 9% critical strike chance, 9% reload speed to all your weapons, 10% mining speed, and then 9 armor. I wonder what the breakdown for the armor is. I was hoping it would give me, like, you know, for each point of armor it reduces damage by so much. I'll have to look it up later. But they're all at rarity, so that's pretty okay. I think for this one, I do have a ton of gold. I can be a little bit selective. I mean, I know I'm going to take the mining speed because I want to increase that. I'm really hoping to increase, well, let's see. My critical strike chance is only at 6. So I'm not really banking on that one to get increased a whole lot. So I think with this one, I'm going to go ahead and re-roll these. I'm not too interested in the reload speed right now. Alright. So we did get some movement speed, so that's pretty excellent. So I'm really happy. Like, if I was to pick 3 quality of life upgrades to pick right now, movement speed, pickup radius, and mining speed, those are all really great. So with that, it looks like we're going to go ahead and pin this legendary upgrade, because we're pretty happy taking that on the next run, but we'll take 25% damage and a overclock. So last time we changed it to electrical, and we were really, really, really underwhelmed with the amount of damage it was doing. So we're going to take the high caliber rounds on this one. So this is going to give us a 100% piercing, and then an additional just 30% damage increase, and a minus 30% fire rate. So we're going to take that, and then, like I said, we'll just take the quality of life upgrades here. We did pretty good with managing our resources. We try to spend as much as we can in the shop before each round to try to get the most amount of upgrades that we can. But this one we got 18 left on the table, but I'm okay with that. I think there might have been one other thing that we could take, but I think it's still fine just moving into level 2. Alright, level 2, we got a door prize of some Morkite. Morkite being my least favorite thing to collect in all of Deep Rock Galactic. But what can you do? Alright, looks like they got some Nitra down here. That's pretty cool. Nice, I got some achievement of reaching more movement speed. We'll take some. Well, maybe we shouldn't. Last time we did a really good job of mining out the entire map, so we're gonna try to continue that pattern. So this one, we leveled up again. We got 2% movement speed, 3% critical strike chance, or 10% damage on all projectiles. We're just gonna take that 10% on all projectiles. All right. Let's continue just to try to scan the perimeter of the map. Hopefully we'll find some good nodes. We'll stop here, and we will get some Morkite, and hopefully we don't have to worry about it the rest of the match. Alright, so we got some speedy guys coming in. See that piercing damage coming through right there. That was pretty excellent. Just a good example of like, hey, get them lined up. That's good. Alright, so these guys are kind of outpacing us. We're going to try to outmaneuver them. Oof, we're still taking damage. That's our second proc for the cold damage, or the frozen belt, whatever it is. Alright, let's see if we can't still maximize. Look, who needs mining speed when you could just jump on everything? There we go. That felt pretty successful. Alright, these guys are going to take the long way down. I'm going to try to outmaneuver them and grab some Nitra on the way. There we go. Mission successful. Another swarm incoming. Okay, we can handle that. I'm really glad that we picked that speed upgrade, because you can see these guys, look how quick they move. Oof. So that's the third time that's... Oh, dude, these trees take forever. Alright, this is fine. Alright, I do see that there is a supply pod down there. We leveled up, and we got 5% critical strike damage, 30% or 30 max HP, or 35% damage on the GK2. Yeah, I think I'll take that 35 damage on the GK2. Heal a bit, try to... Yeah, see, before these guys would catch us, and now we are outrunning them, so definitely feel good about that. Let's go ahead and get these loot bugs. Always a good pickup. Alright, let's go see if we can't dig out this supply beacon. For the supply beacon, I always try to push it in a ways that puts the rocks in between me and the bugs. We're going to step on the aura there just to try to disrupt it. Now that I'm thinking about it, because this one does have such a big like crowd control aspect, or like just big swarms, that piercing was really good. Alright, so for our supply pod, we got red sugar, which is a artifact that gives you 3 max HP when collecting red sugar. This is a absolutely fantastic, fine artifact to take on every other level that's not this one, because there is no red sugar on this map. So we're just going to completely skip over that one. But our other one, we have 10% XP gain, and then you gain XP whenever you take damage. Or we could do the gold scanner, which is you get a small chance to find gold when mining any kind of rock. because we are still in the beginning of the game, I think taking that XP gain to try to get us a couple more levels is probably worth it. 10% when you have nothing is a pretty big increase there. So essentially, I think it's like, well, instead of collecting one little XP bubble, you get, 1.1. So every 10 XP bubbles you get an extra one. It's, I don't know, it's pretty cool. It adds up pretty quick, and if we can get any more, that they add up. We leveled up again. We have a 20% reload speed to all medium items, which is all of our items. So that's epic rarity, pretty cool. We have a 10% fire rate to all of our projectile weapons, which is also 100% of our weapons, or we could do 10% critical strike damage. I'm going to go ahead and take the epic rarity 20% reload speed for all medium weapons, so just reducing our reload time. The more time that we are firing our weapon is just more time that we are dealing damage. And that is the name of the game here. Okay. This one's a little bit tricky. I gotta outmaneuver these guys. Oof. Okay. I gotta create space and then get out of there. So the reason I chose to go down there is because I move much faster not digging. And so I really had to create enough space that I could create enough time to dig myself out of that situation. So I'm happy that it kind of had that little pocket down at the bottom, because that was like worst case scenario is back yourself into a corner with no way out with a big swarm coming, and make it even worse by throwing in another boss. So oh boy. Okay, so I think we did cover the entire map. We're not dealing a huge amount of damage. We leveled up again. So our level up is going to be 10% reload speed on the GK2, fire rate with the GK2, or 6 armor. I think we are going to keep going with the fire rate on the GK2. And, I mean, taking the 6 armor is fine here, but I generally don't want to take any defensive skills before, like, level 3. So, oh look, so we did miss some. There's some nitra up here. So that's why it's good to go back and check. Oh, it's not nitra, it's gold. Whatever, we take that. Alright. They are creeping in on me. Let's see if we can't dig around them. I actually, you know what? The amount of dudes and damage I can deal is... Alright, 3 procs. Okay, so we are in crisis mode right now. So I think what we have to do is find one of these things, get some health back, and just try to dance around until we can deal enough damage. We're going to try to prioritize picking up orbs. We leveled up again. We got 6 armor, 3% critical strike chance, or 25% damage on the M1000. We are definitely just going to take it for the M1000. We just need to dwindle this guy's health down. So I need to make sure that almost 100% of my bullets for the M1000 are going directly to the boss, because as you can see, that huge crowd that's behind our guy here is not getting any smaller. Alright, so that's the 6th time that belt has triggered and has been helpful to us. So this is, we do got him, which is nice. We are leaving some resources on the table, but there's nothing we can do. Oof, 7 times. Okay. Looks like there's a epic piece of gear. That'll be our first one, so that's kind of cool. Let's see if we can heal a little bit. Alright, so what have we got? We've got our Thor bug taser, we got a cryo grenade, or we have the nuke 17. I think for me, at least at this point, it's a slam dunk on the cryo grenade. Like, we didn't hit the cold upgrade on our GK2, and so knowing that we do need some sort of crowd control, I think will take us a long way. Like, we're trying here. Oh boy, these guys are fast. I am glad that I got the speed upgrade, though. Oh boy. Yeah, look, we're like barely dealing enough to. I mean, our threat level is pretty high. Threat level is how many aliens you're like facing at the end. Okay, so pretty big upgrades. First one we have on the table, that is 10% increase to all projectile damage. So that's going to hit our two main weapons, which is our GK2 and our M1000. So that's pretty good. We got the increased fire rate, the legendary upgrade that we pinned last time. We got that still there for the GK2. 10% damage across the board, or 15% damage across the board. Sorry about that. So that one's pretty good. And then the last one is going to be well, actually, I totally skipped over it. 5% mining speed increase, so that's there as well. And then a 15% to our cryo grenades. Okay, so out of these, I am going to take the increased projectile and increased damage. So that's just going to give us a straight 25% across the board. And that, what does that leave us with? So that's like 69. Okay, so we'll have a little bit for the next one. Now, so essentially we'll have enough to re-roll, but not enough to buy any of the new things. So we'll go ahead and pin the legendary movement speed because we do like that. I think it's a good idea to pin this 15% increase to kinetic damage, and then the other ones. So we have a 15% reload speed to the GK2, 25% damage to the GK2, and 20% fire rate to all projectile weapons. So I don't feel like I need to save anything else, but I am going to buy that 25 damage to the GK2 because we are still feeling like we're pretty low on our damage. Alright, so with that, we got the 12% movement speed pinned, so we want to collect at least 63 gold so that we can get that movement increase. You know, it depends on everyone's play style, but I like having that movement speed, so maybe like other people think it's not as valuable, but for me it definitely is. So we had a pretty good door prize of just like stepping out, and it already mined some of those minerals for us too, so that was kind of cool. But we'll go ahead and we'll take everything that's kind of right out the door here. We get to collect some flowers for our secondary objective. It's always fun day in the park, just going and collecting flowers, and they pay us to do it, so that's pretty nice. Alright, there we go. 2 out of 6. Alright, look at these loot bugs all around. Alright, I just got the notification. A swarm is incoming, so we're going to try to... Oh boy, these guys are quick. Oh, I wish we had that 12% movement increase. Yoink, yoink. Grabbing some flowers as we're dodging bugs. Okay. Oh boy, this is a rough one. Okay, we are gonna take we got 10% reload speed for the M1000. We got 5% mining speed, and then 10% fire rate for the GK2. We are gonna take the reload speed for the M1000 because it gives us our first overclock. Our first overclock is gonna be between a little more oomph or Gauss rerouting. So a little more oomph, that's going to be a 15% damage increase and a 25% reload speed. The other one is going to be 25% fire rate and 25% reload speed. So essentially, we're just choosing between 15% damage increase or 25% fire rate. In this situation, I'm definitely going to take a little bit more oomph. So, we got 8 times on the belt there. We shut that warden down really quick. Wow, that was a that was a greedy loot bug. All right, I'm gonna keep moving because we have to keep exploring the map, even if we are not dealing enough to kill all the people. Maybe we'll be able to, I don't know, have a supply drop on them. I love it when the supply drop also has the other minerals in there, kind of feels like a win-win. It's like, well, I had to mine here anyway. Alright, so those guys are really, really adding up. Those wardens, I think they reduce damage too. We're gonna try and 9 times with that belt. Alright, we are gonna take the movement speed here. Because these guys, if they just can't keep getting us. Like, they will just keep increasing the amount of damage, and we have to be able to escape them. I am kind of trying to keep an eye out for a way to heal. Yeah, so this, I think this round was much harder for us. Alright, so this should take care of a big chunk of them, but... Alright, we leveled up. We got 25% damage on the GK2. We have 10% reload on the M1000 or 25% fire rate on the M1000. We are going to take the Titan Springs, the 25% on the fire rate for the M1000 because we just got to get that to level 15, though I do think as of right now the GK2 is doing a little bit more work. So with this one, we got the supply drop, and we have the BLT ration pack, which is 80% max HP and 2% life gain, or not 2%, but 2 life gain regen, which is, it's a solid one. We have a nitro scanner and an XP scanner. In this situation, because survival is my top priority, I'm going to take the max HP and the life gen. So pretty timely with that one. I think I'm pretty happy just taking that. Alright, leveled up again. We have a 6 armor increase and then a 10% fire rate to all projectiles. Our fire rate is pretty good as of right now, so because if it was damage I would take it, but our fire rate is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take the armor at 6 armor to just reduce the amount of damage that we are taking on a regular basis. Like we already have 9 kind of activations of our belt, which means we've been taking damage pretty consistently. We leveled up again. We have the choice between mining speed at 5%, reload, 6% reload speed across the board, or 15 max HP. I think I'm gonna take the mining speed on this one. It's probably that's subjective. I feel like that is definitely maybe not the best call. So 9. So is that 10 activations on our belt, and we've only had it for 1 level. I might just stop counting after this and say yes, we definitely got our money's worth on it. Alright, I am absolutely gonna just keep bolting around because I am a big fan of collecting all of these resources. I do not like leaving them on the map because I want to pay for more upgrades so I can collect more minerals. Oh god, I see the endless cycle here. Oh god. Oh god, I get it. I get it. I feel like the Matrix just... Ooh, nice, a magnet. Oh, okay, so let's try and grab some more health. Okay. Then we're gonna go up, and then we're gonna give ourselves a huge speed boost. Jump back, grab a magnet, come back around, level up. Alright, so we have 3% reload speed, 30 max HP, or 6% critical strike chance. I'm going to take the max HP. We are in survival mode, so just being able to get to that end game. We leveled up again, very cool. We got 30 max HP, 3% critical strike chance, or 10% damage on the GK2. We are going to take the 10% damage on the GK2. And that also puts us 1 pip away from being able to get another overclock with it, so we're pretty happy with that. Alright. Try not to get stuck in a corner. I will say, those trees, they are beautiful, but they are super annoying. For whatever reason, they are just harder to remove than rock, which I don't know how that works out. Ooh, so we are We just found a hoarder. Looks like it lost some damage before, so maybe we had found him before and didn't even notice. I don't know. But we are... Oh, oh god, we're all in on trying to kill it. 11. God, come on, come on, come on. Alright. So we opened up the loot crate. We have a 45% pickup radius, 20 nitra, or an artifact with a vitaminer pills. I don't know how to say it. Vitaminer? I don't know. But that's a 5% max HP, and then increase the healing on each level. We are going to take that because we just need that right now. Okay, so we leveled up again. So we're kind of in the zone where we're probably going to be leveling up quite a few times. I'm just going to set up kind of like my priority list of what's important. So I think at the top of that is upgrading our M1000 to level 18. So unless it's a close pick, I'm probably not going to read every single level up. I hope that's okay moving forward. You can let me know in the comments if you just enjoy me reading every single one, or if I should just say, you know what, this is it. And if it's a big difference, or if it's a, not so obvious choice that I'm making, to kind of elaborate on that. But for this one, because we've already established that getting the M1000 to level 18 is our top priority, we just want to go ahead and take it. I'm really not interested in upgrading the cryo grenade as much. Like, it's serving its purpose already. If I was to take anything with it, it would probably just be like a potency or a reload speed. I'm not interested in upgrading the damage on it, because its job is literally just to slow people down, and I'm totally okay with that. Our damage can come from other weapons. I mean, if we get something where it's like the best choice is to increase the damage to the cryo grenade, that's fine. We'll take it. Like, it's not like we're gonna be like, no, I won't increase the damage to it, but it's really just not what we're trying to do. And staying focused is what's gonna bring us to the late game. So go ahead and take this one. We got the boss halfway down. We got too many aliens to deal with. I'm going to try and bring him in close and then jump over him. Ready? Whee! I wonder if that was the right choice. I don't know. Oh, nice. I think... Oh my god. These guys, they're so fast. They're so fast. Alright, let's see if we can round them up. They're the sheepdog style. Alright. And what are we going to do? We're going to run in a circle. Oh, we got the boss. Oh, nice. Did he drop any gear? No, he didn't. Alright. We got a little bit of time. I think we did a pretty good job clearing this map. And then I'm going to stand right here. I think they can hit me. But, like, see how this guy's just kind of stuck? It's kind of a glitch. I don't know if it's a glitch or a feature, where it's like, oh, well, I could stand here and just be invulnerable as they try and do that. All right, so this one, we got 3% reload speed to all weapons, 15% reload speed for the M1000, or 10% fire rate for the M1000. We're just going to take the reload speed. That was like kind of between either of those choices for the M1000 were fine. They're kind of minor, but all right, so we did get enough to increase our movement speed again, so we're pretty happy with that. So we'll take... Oh, wait. Well, let me go through and read everything. So we got another 6% critical strike chance. We got 15% kinetic damage increase, which we had saved last time, so happy with that. And then our new ones that we have are 15% reload speed for the M1000, or a 15% reload speed for the GK2. So with that, we'll go ahead and take the ones that we knew that we wanted from last time. I am going to take the reload speed for the M1000, but I'm not going to take it for the GK2. I just am hoping to level up the M1000 first. So I know it's right before an overclock, but we'll see. I'm just not excited about reload speed. Okay, so we get our next batch. So the first one that we have is we have 25% fire rate for the M1000, 20% fire rate to all projectile weapons, 4% movement speed, 15% reload speed for the M1000, and another 10% increased damage to all kinetic weapons. So I think for this one, we're just going to take what we can. We're definitely going to take both upgrades for the M1000. That'll, what's that? That put us up to level 12. So we also get another overclock. So our overclock is between rubber tips and bigger mags. So rubber tips is a 15% damage increase, and it gives it knockback. So whenever it hits an enemy, it just pushes them back a little bit. Pretty nice. And then our bigger mag says we get 100% clip size, but we get a minus 10% to our reload speed. Because the bigger mags has the downside of longer reload speed, I'm just going to take the 15% damage increase and the knockback because it's just 100% gain, where this one, where we have to calculate whether the gain is worth it with the reload speed, and in general it's like, well, I'd rather just take a straightforward increase even if it's slow and steady to be able to do that. There are some scenarios where I think you could risk out like whether or not the reload speed is going to really affect you long term. So we got a couple options left. We have 10% increase to our kinetic damage. At 29, we do need a reroll here. So actually, even though this one's really good, I'm going to risk it, which is not something I normally do. But risking it right now for this reroll, I think that gives us a chance of, well, let's see. It depends, I guess, because look, like this one is 29, this one's 23, this one's 35. So like two rare ones, that would be 70, so we're already below that. But if we have two of them, like a movement speed or this one, so I guess because I know the damage is already going to be pretty good, maybe I should just take it. I guess I just talked myself out of taking a risky move. Alright, so yeah, so what would we have had? We would a little bit more, so we could have done 15, but we can just save it. No foul there. So this one, the 5% increase is our only option, and we'll go ahead and take that. So the reason we re-rolled that last one was to try to use up our Nitra. However, I'm not gonna put it on the tweak potency. I'm just gonna save it for a better upgrade, because I'm just not interested in upgrading that weapon. Alright, on to stage 4, no door prize, which is, that's just what I wanted to call all the, like, materials or whatever that you get for stepping out of the drop pod. But we are very quick, so that's cool. Probably explore the map in no time. Alright, count your blessings. That's awesome. Get some Morkite right off the bat there. Alright, I am just cruising along. Our speed's very good. Oh man, and we got a supply thing, so let's grab this Nitra. We don't have any artifact rerolls. We don't really have a ton of good artifacts unlocked anyway, so that's totally fine. But we'll go back, we'll double back for the supply drop. Not too much to clear out, but it is in the corner, so like, hey dude, you need to, oh boy. Ooh, that thing saved us again. Oh man, spitting bubbles at us. Alright, go get him. Alright. Last level up. We could re-roll for it. Let's see. So we have the Thor Bug Taser, which would be a new weapon for us. We have the jerry-rigged boomstick. And I didn't actually explain this last time, but if you look down at the bottom, those little diamonds that they have above the weapons, that's how many like similar traits they have in common. So to maximize like your upgrades, you'll want to take things that do have things in common, so that you can just have more like increases across the board. Unless you're trying to do like a specific build, or like if one gun is just really, really bad and you don't want to take it. I'm pretty happy with the jerry-rigged boomstick. So yeah, and I don't feel like re-rolling here, so I don't really think we have anything to re-roll into as far as the weapons, just because we're in the beginning stages of the game and we don't, like, we just haven't unlocked those weapons. I haven't even played with the gunner yet, so there's a whole list of things that we still need to discover. All right, so what did we get for a supply pod? We got gain 3 levels now. We got a small chance to find gold when mining any kind of rock, or we have the trap of pickled nitra. Like if we took that now, we wouldn't be able to move. That's what's so crazy about it. Like we literally just cannot take pickled nitra. Um, that being said, ancient knowledge is a lot better later in the game when you've kind of hit that cap of trying to maximize your levels. But as of right now, I think we're pretty good just to take the gold scanner. Like, we mine every now and then. So, alright, found some gold. I will note, though, that we're on level 4, and we're only level 26. So, I might need to aggressively start rolling for the M1000 upgrades. Which is not something I thought I would have to do. But, we'll keep trying. This guy is moving quick. And he does not care about terrain. So I might have to... Alright, I might have to come back for that one. Come on. Alright, that guy's down. Uh-oh, they are closing in on me. Is that 12? 12 times? Alright. Oh boy, it's getting pretty grim. Good thing there are some loot bugs there to cheer me up. You know, when all seems dark, sometimes you just gotta find a loot bug to feel better about life. There we go, gain a little extra health. Oh, and not only that, hey, why not just send the end boss to kind of, you know, mix it up. Here we go. We're just gonna slowly hit this guy with our hammer. They give a ton of XP, so that's kind of nice. But what the heck? That guy tried to stab us. You guys see that? These menacing-looking things with hooks for faces tried to stab us. I am shocked. Come on. Alright, let's go. Alright, cool. Alright, well, we're somehow doing damage to the boss, so even through this huge crowd, I'm trying to shut off that aura, but turns out, you know, my feet weren't small, or feet weren't big enough. I just didn't quite step on it. Okay, so this level up, we have a 10% damage increase to the cryogen, 3% reload speed, or 5% critical strike damage. I'm gonna be honest, this is garbage. We're gonna reroll. Okay, so now much better level up. Now we have a six armor increase. We can increase the reload speed of the GK2 and give it our second overclock, or we could just do a 10% projectile damage. I'm gonna do the oh dang. We did this before and it wasn't good, so dang it. This is weird. Okay, so our overclock, we have Big Game Hunter, which is a 20% critical strike chance increase, which that's not nothing. And then a 20% critical strike damage increase, and it always targets the enemy with the highest HP. Problem with that is it's literally going from like 6 to 26, which is not a huge increase. I mean, it is a huge increase, but not really where we're at in the game. And so changing it to electrical damage also makes it not the same type of projectile damage as the other one, so I am just going to take this one, but I'm pretty pretty sad about that. So hopefully it. We're gonna check the stats afterwards to see exactly how it did. But oh boy, good thing we were like in the healing zone for this one. So we have a couple options here because we need to kill this boss. Looks like we're doing an okay steady damage to him, but we need to keep him ahead of that warden. I'm not quite sure how to keep doing that besides moving pretty quickly. Alright, the bugs are getting stronger, I believe it. Alright, so next level up, we have 15% damage for the M1000, 15% fire rate for the GK2, or a 6 or increase of 6 armor. So we're going to take the 15% damage to the M1000. It's at level 14, so we need to get 4 more levels specifically for the M1000 before the end of this match to be able to get that achievement. I'm really hoping to do it, so ultimately our goal is survival. So if I have to take something that is not in alignment with that in order to survive, I will. Something like this. So I only have so many levels up left. I could risk it and re-roll here, or I could just take this 12 armor. I think I'm going to. Because, look, getting hit and then, like, dying is just, it's the worst, okay? All of your progress is essentially gone. You, like, did the run for nothing. There is some nitra up in the corner. I'm not going to go back and get it. I'm just going to play it safe. Which is a bummer, I know, but what can you do? I stopped. I say that and then stop for like useless Morkite. All right, we leveled up again. We got 6% reload speed, 30 max HP, or 15% pickup radius. So for this one, we are going to take the 30 max HP because we're right at the end, and we just want to make it that last mile there. So hopefully we'll be able to pick up a couple more upgrades for our M1000 in our shop here. What the heck? I've never seen this happen. So I think we had pinned something in this slot and then I guess it didn't reset it. That is so strange. Okay. All right, we're going to move past this. So what do we have? We have 15% damage on our M1000. So just looking across the board, I know I'm going to take that one. So just to save us some time, we'll go there. We got a 15% increase to all projectile damage. So we definitely want to take that one. Our next one is luck or fire rate, but we don't have enough gold to do it. So we're going to go ahead and re-roll. All right. In our reroll, we got another 25% damage to our M1000, so we are slowly but surely getting there. We are going to use another reroll. We don't want to increase the damage on our M1000 or the cryogen grenade, just for the chance of having another better upgrade here. We didn't get another upgrade for the M1000, but we did get one for our shotgun and for our GK2. So we'll go ahead and we'll take those two. And then I guess we just kind of have to be happy with what we got. This was our last chop before the end level, so we did our best. We got M16 or M16, the M1000 up to level 16. So our next couple levels, we really we're just kind of living on a dream here to try to get that upgrade. We might actually just prioritize looking for gold right now so that we can have those re-rolls. Alright. What is that? 13, 14? Oh, nice. I destroyed a bunch of things and got an achievement. Everybody's happy. Let's go. We move so quick. I think for this one we have to try to get a bunch of terrain, just because it's really hard to move, and like depending on what end boss we're fighting, you just want to be able to move pretty consistently, not get trapped in. What was that, 14, 15? I don't know. It has been a journey with that belt. I don't know if it did any significant damage. I mean, I think it makes our grenade a little bit stronger. Oof, that time it looked like it did a lot of damage. Alright, so this one, we didn't get any upgrades for our M1000, so we are going to re-roll. Alright, and we got a loosen bolts for the M1000, which is a 15% reload speed increase. Okay, there we go. Now we actually... Did we do it? Now we did it. We're still just taking way too much damage. Oh, that's nice. It's getting tough. We're definitely racing the clock here. Alright, so we didn't get any upgrades for the M1000, so we're going to re-roll. Alright, we got the last one, which is a 10% fire rate increase for the M1000. So this one, we have two options. We have Thick Boy, which is combines all your projectiles into one, greatly increasing damage while reducing reload speed, or we could take a Unstable Overclock for the Sawn-Off, which essentially you just have a lot less weapon range and a lot less accuracy, but you fire more bullets. I'm just gonna go with the shotgun type build. We got really lucky with that resupply there. So this one, we are just gonna take that 5%. Oh, the supply drop came, and we have the choice between Nitra Scanner, the vitamins, or the pickled nitra. We're going to go ahead and take that vitamins because that's the only reasonable one we could take. We're not interested in getting more nitra at this point in the game. It's the last level. We have no place to spend it. So yeah. So we leveled up again. We got a 15% fire rate increase, a 10% reload speed to our grenade, or a 3% critical strike chance for everything. We're going to re-roll, see if we can't get anything better. Alright, well, our last one, it's not a whole lot better. The only thing we really got was a 10% fire rate increase to the GK2, but in some strange world, we might actually be able to get that to level 18, so let's go ahead and at least try. Had to jump on some nitra there because in my heart I am a dwarf, and dwarfs really only know how to mine. I am a one-dimensional character, and I am proud of it. Alright, level up. So I'm going to take my first level in the cryo grenade, increasing its reload speed here. Maybe I should have re-rolled if I was kind of following the pattern that I was just having, but it's whatever. Looks like we are pretty close to facing the main boss, so let's make sure that we have a decent amount of area cleared out, which it looks like we do. I like that they have all of these kind of trampolines so close together. Alright, boss is awake. Alright, I'm going to take some damage to try and get out of that situation. Ooh, that man is jumpy. Oh, dodging meteors. That's my life. Ready? Boop. Cool. Dodging meteors. Okay, so we leveled up. We have a 15% radius increase, a 10% critical damage increase, or a 35% fire rate for the M1000. We're just going to take the one for the M1000. It's the only practical one to take here. And we are still firing our M1000 every chance that we get. So let's keep it up. We have to keep stepping inside this aura, or else that boss is going to heal. Gonna make a note that that was a huge save from, I don't know if that was the grenade or if it was our belt. But it definitely saved us there because I think we were about to take a bunch of damage. All right, we had a level up there where we just took a pretty standard increase to damage for our M1000, which is our main weapon at this point. It's the highest. So we have 3 choices here. We're just going to continue to increase our damage on the M1000. We're almost there. Oh, can't catch me, man. Fox News, C-SPAN, back-to-back broadcast shows all weekend. Ah! I don't know if anyone knows that song. I learned that song from Guitar Hero. I think it was by that Handsome Devil. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Bring it on. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared. I'm a little scared. Alright. Look, we're jumping all over. Getting our health back. Hey, you. Don't go near those stones. Found out they heal the boss, too. That's lame. Dude, this guy. What? I'm gonna hit this guy with my hammer. Oh, God. Oh, they killed my heal? Okay, this is fine. So level up, we got... I think I'm gonna take just 5% damage increase to everybody. Not that it's... We're already on a steady trajectory for destruction of our enemies, but whatevs. Alright, go and collect some extra stuff. Now let's get on that escape pod and call it a day. A lot of fun stuff. No, I don't think we did anything really new with this one. Last time we got to try out the Volcanic Sweeper. This one, it was pretty standard for us, but I'm glad that we were able to complete the run. We did level up the M1000 to level 21, so that's a new achievement for us. A couple things unlocked. I just wanted to say goodbye to everybody. It's been great. Thank you for coming to my show. You know, I know you guys really love having me here on Hoaxus, so I'll see you next time. Oh, look at that new artifact. We got some gold tip bullets. That's what we got. Got some BB juice, some barley bulb juice. Everybody loves that, you know. Gear level increase. Okay. New artifact. So what's this one? Destroy 20 rock and stone by jumping on them. We got some jet boots. Nice. New class unlocked, the engineer. Alright, this guy definitely looks like he's doing some engineering. So, some dwarven engineering too. Oh, and we got some pretty good upgrades. So new gear found. We got 1 epic gear. I think that's our first epic gear we've got. 1 rare at level 10 and another level 7 common gear. Cool. Looking over our stats. Okay, so not a huge difference in damage between the GK2 and the M1000 at level 21. That's actually quite surprising for me. It's pretty obvious towards the end that the M1000 was dealing a whole lot more damage, but I think not taking the elemental damage for the GK2 was huge. It just seemed like it just wasn't doing enough damage. Like this run felt fine for how fast and how quickly we were dealing damage to people. It was different enemies. Like these ones have higher defense, and you could tell that they were moving a whole lot faster, which is by design. I really love that aspect of the game where it's like, well, different enemies have different traits, so you have to kind of play around them a little bit differently. Like this one, we prioritized taking movement speed because if we didn't, those guys would just run right into us. And maybe you have enough, defense to mitigate that damage, but we definitely didn't. So, and there are ways to do that, and that's definitely a play style, but not one that I'm super comfortable with. But very happy with the run. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. See you guys in the next one. Peace!